Well, basically, it's just me all the time. The Pale Sun is a strictly one man, mostly no budget operation, which means I do literally everything. It gets lonely at times, but then again, this to me right now is the best way of working. I have something what I call my electric friends, and this puts it quite nicely because all the opportunities you have at your disposal these days make it possible for me to conjure up my vision the way I have it in mind, really. So there are more or less no limits to what you can do. The only thing that limits you is your imagination. Well, it all started some time ago when one of my mates asked me if I'd be interested to share his studio with him. And I jumped at the opportunity almost right away, because the alternative would have been to wait for my then bandmates to make some time for some action, or just keep sitting on the couch writing songs forever. And I traded this much too long waiting period in for getting back into shape. I really had to start from scratch, cause I literally didn't know anything much about production as such. I come from a time when we started doing our own stuff, tinkering around with analog 4 tracks or 8 tracks, and had some experience with a really prehistoric DAW. So yeah, I needed a quite steep learning curve on that one. Playing in a band is fantastic, you know. You should count yourself lucky if you met the right people to do it with. Of course, that's not so easy to find, you know, to find people who are, well, as much devoted to getting the songs out and done in a way and you feel that it's right, and then again to allocate certain roles, you know. So remember that. It was a great learning process and a worthwhile experience, but it's not what I miss these days, I have to say. Of course, it's not important to what I do as a Pale Sun. Under Piles of Clothes is my second album, and it's been some time in the making, really. You know, more or less I started working on the next long player whenever I finished my first long player, White Fence, which was in 2018. So it would be just the natural thing to do to start on the next one. Well, then again, things change a lot, and you write new songs. Well, yeah, it's fair to say it took a long time, but I couldn't be more happier with the result. It was planned and very differently, because after the experience of doing everything myself, I was quite keen on bringing on as many people as possible to know my fair share of musicians here in Berlin. So, and I would have loved to see everyone coming in, sort of like a revolving door. People would come and go and contribute to the album, and we take it from there and see how it goes. But this whole idea was derailed by the pandemic, unfortunately. But I wasn't really capable of doing anything, to be honest. I produced a single in that time, which was Numbers, and slowly but steadily picked up working on the album again and coming to terms with the idea that it would have been just me again as usual. Well, I left no stone unturned and kept working really until I thought it was perfect in a way, and just the way I wanted these songs to be. I have a very clear vision of what I do, but it might take some time to get there, really. Right now, this is probably by far the strongest work I've ever done. No one really believes you if you say that you're not in it for the fame part. I'm way past that, you know. I've been around the block a few times, and the only thing that really makes me happy these days is if I happen to touch someone with what I do. You know, I'm absolutely convinced that music's probably the most magical force there is. You know, I fell in love with it a long time ago, and I know how much music can change anything, really. It can be a solace, it can be your soul dream and ambition, whatever, and it can just make things so very different. Whenever someone might find something that touches him or her in one of my songs, that's just so beautiful. And this is really what keeps me going in a way, you know. Other than that, I could just go back to sitting at home writing songs for myself, playing them on my stereo. But knowing that my songs are out there and that they might actually mean something to someone, that's fantastic, really. Yeah, this whole one-man show comes with certain freedoms and limitations, I should say. Of course, I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, the way that I want it, but this wouldn't necessarily work in a live environment. You know, I always have to scale things down a bit. I don't feel bad about it. You know, the few live appearances I had, I like taking things back to when these songs came into this world. You know, most of the times on an acoustic guitar, quite skeletal versions, and I really enjoy playing these versions. I do. But it's also fair to say that playing live is my main focus these days. It's a beautiful thing to engage with an audience and to see how they react, but it's not what's driving me, you know. I love working in the studio, and I love seeing these results. It's like inventing some new world every time, you know, and I like wandering in this, and I like to take people on the same journey with me. So this is way more appealing than playing live, I'm afraid. I don't know if I can go on forever, you know. I would always say that this is what it feels to be a musician, you know, playing these kind of songs. And why would I stop, you know? So I would only stop if I think there's nothing more that I would have to contribute, or that I would have to say and that I wanted to tell anyone. That might be a good moment to stop. So, or maybe I just find some other things to do. But unfortunately, I hate golf and I suck at tennis, so you might have to bear with me a bit longer.